water is just incredible. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go.
This time we're at Green Lake State Park with its two remarkable lakes, where the waters of the Caribbean meet the North Woods of New York State. The park is located in Fayetteville, a cozy little village that is considered an eastern suburb of Syracuse. It doesn't feel much like the suburbs. Green Lakes has two heavily wooded campgrounds, Pinewood and Rolling Hills, with a total of 211 campsites, and two lakes that virtually defy description.
Both Green Lake and Round Lake were carved out by prehistoric glaciers. They have a very rare quality. They are Meromictic, meaning that for some reason the layers of water never turn over, giving them a crystal clear blue-green color. Green Lake has a huge swimming beach and also offers fishing and kayak rentals. The smaller Round Lake is accessible only by a short trail through the woods and has been declared a National Natural Landmark. Finally, about 10 miles outside the park, you'll find Chittenango Falls, and it was at its raging best when we saw it.
We're here at Green Lake State Park in Fayetteville, New York, a short distance from Syracuse. We're in Site 54. On this site, in this part of the loop, we're in the Pinewood Loop, and it has this part of the section has electric hookups, no water. You have to fill up at the dump station. There is another section of this loop that has full hookups. That's numbers 1 through 30, and that's on the sort of on the other side of the area here. But ours is sort of gravelly, partly almost. Some of the sites are paved, some are just grass, and it's an older park. The park is just about going to celebrate its 100th anniversary, and then the campsites were built in the 30s by the CCC, like a lot of these state parks, so there's not a lot of space in between. But you come here maybe for the camping, but mostly to see the water here, the tropical looking Green Lake. We're sort of at the end of this loop, and I said we're 54, and 55, 56, and 57 all the way down to the end are all pretty much the same. They have electric, sort of gravelly pads. They're fairly level. Some have a few more trees, and some maybe have a little bit more space in between, but not a lot. As I walk up here, you can see that all the ones they back up to the trees are all about the same. They're fairly long, so you can fit a fairly good size trailer or whatever. But there's only 30 amp service over here. The full hookup area has also 50 amp. And right across in the middle here, you have a little playground. There's a volleyball, and then the bathroom with really nice bathroom and showers on that part of the loop. Come down here, there's still a lot of trees. There's number 61 is John's sister is with us on this trip, and you can see it, but 62 has a fairly large rig. That's a pretty long trailer, and he's got his car parked over here on the grass. And then you go around. These two sites don't have as much shade. I think we were in one of these the last time we were here. I think we were in 64, and then it just goes around a corner here till the last site is 67. These are the last couple of sites in the park that aren't too bad. They're fairly long, and you're right across from the bathroom right here, and that's site 72. As we make our way around, number 70 would be kind of nice because you've got a lot of trees behind you and nobody too close on the other side with the trees there. And you got 69, and then 68 sort of ends this little part of the loop. This part of the loop starts down here at site number 31, and they run along the tree line here. And that section down there where you see that white camper, that's actually part of the full hookup loop down there, and that ends at site number 30. So once you get past 30, the rest of the sites here are just electric. I would say the sites from 35, 36, 37, 38, they're all along the tree line, but they're all kind of close together. And the last couple on this loop, this is 38, 39, and if you were over here, it would be an easy walk over to the bathroom over here. Probably the nicest one at the end of this loop is site number 40, because it's pretty deep and you have quite a bit of grass and trees between you and the next site. And a quick cruise around here, that's 44, 45 is slightly deep, it's come back pretty much in the trees. Then you start going downhill, so I'm not quite sure how level a couple of these are. That guy's got a tent. It's like he's drying out some of his wood. And we got 46, 47, 48, and 49 going down the hill. 49 probably wouldn't be bad. You got quite a bit of space over there. I would say probably the premier site over here is 41 in these trees over here. Lots of shade, nice and wooded and big. And then the one at the end is number 42, and unfortunately there's somebody pulling in next to us. We were hoping we'd have a little more space, but oh well. And the last couple here, that's 50, 51, 52, and 53 wouldn't be bad because you're right up by the trees there. And this is the other last site before us, and that's 43.
Alright, we're going through a section of the Pinewoods loop now that's that has the full hookups in it. I'm not real enamored of these sites. They're kind of open and treeless. They planted some young trees in here, so
sort of a newer section of the park.
Yeah, it's maybe, who knows, 8-10 years old at the most. But they have paved sites.
Some pull-throughs, some
some pull-throughs, and you know, accommodates larger rigs. It wouldn't be too bad if you had one of these sites backed up into the woods, but the ones sitting out there in the middle, they're kind of, that was site 31 there, 32 is empty, kind of a little bit of a short one.
I think the last full hookup up here is 32.
That was 33, and this is 34, and I don't see a sewer hookup on it, so I guess we're out of the full hookups. Hey, we're entering the Rolling Hills section of the campground now.
As you come in here, there's a lot of just tent sites along the woods here. And you got a picnic table and a fire ring.
Okay, this is the inner part of the loop here on Rolling Hills. Most of these sites are grassy, good for tents. Sites 91 and 93 there we just passed. And 95 and 97. They have a little playground here too.
More down at the end, but it's a dead end, so I don't know if I want to go that way. We'll go this way.
Here's a few small sites with gravel pads, very, very short. Put a van or a teardrop or something like that, or a pop-up in there. As you can see, there are some smaller rigs down here, but somebody got a full-size trailer in there.
Yeah, these
These are a little bit bigger sites.
And they have electric over here.
These are 107 and 108 we just passed. And these are sites 110 and 109. So you can see some bigger rigs up on the hill there.
Yeah, these are back up to the woods over here, and these also have electric. They're all grass, so I don't know how great it comes, if it's muddy, if it's good. But some are decent, has some shade. Some are a little bit bigger, but you have to just check to see if your rig would fit. Now these over here at least have some gravel and not all grass. And then it opens up down here. There's a big field back here. So this is 120, 122. This guy's fairly big. I don't know where he parked his car though. That's 124, 126 over here. Behind our loop here, the Pinewood loop, this is us right here. There's another little service road that runs right behind us. And when you come down here, there's actually a couple of cabins back here. So besides the regular camping, there's some cabins. So let's go take a look. If we go to the left, we have cabins 3, 4, and 5, and they're pretty wooded back here. I think they need to fix the road a little bit. It's kind of bumpy. I think they were trying to do that yesterday, so there were some trucks out here trying to figure out what to do. But here's this cabin over here. This is cabin number 3. And then there's 4, and then 5 in the back there. This is cabin number 3, and I walked down to the back here, and it's pretty nice. You got a picnic table, and a grill, and a fire pit, and a nice little porch back here. So pretty cool looking. Looked inside the window, and it appears to have like a full kitchen. Looks like a stove and a refrigerator and a big table, and pretty nice to go and look out right out into the trees.
On the other side of the lake, there's an 18-hole golf course, one of the first ever designed by the renowned Robert Trent Jones. Driving in, you could see a lot of the, I guess it's the front 9. It looks pretty hilly, but this is the clubhouse over here. And they have a restaurant here too, Yard's Grill. And you can see down over the hill from the driveway here, there's a hole coming up the hill.
This is the bar and grill here called the Yard. It's very pretty. If you wanted to, you could go sit outside and you can see the lake from here. So from the terrace here at the golf course, you could look at everybody playing. And out there, there's the lake.
Yeah, really the lakes are the star of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, they're deep blue, gorgeous. They look like the Mediterranean or the Caribbean.
Look like, yeah, you're in the tropics because it's so crystal clear blue.
The reason for that is because there's minerals suspended a certain layer of the lake, and these lakes never turn over. The water never turns over like most lakes.
So the water is real deep, so the fishing below a certain point, there is no fish.
Yeah, because there's no oxygen in the lake. The one of them is Green Lake, and that's about 195 feet deep at its steepest spot.
Right, and that one's it has two beaches, an East Beach and a West Beach. It's sort of connected, and you can go swimming there. You can go boating. You can only use their boats because of the type of water that they have here. They don't want any pollution or anything. And there's also a nice trail that goes around the lake, so you can do that.
And then there's Round Lake, which you can only get to by hiking in, and,
Right.
you can't fish, you can't swim.
It's
you
about
can't
a half a
boat.
mile hike, so it's not real far, and then
Yeah.
there's about a mile trail that goes around the lake, so it's a real fun place.
Both of those lakes are what they call Meromictic. Meromictic. I'll put up a graphic.
And what does that exactly mean again?
Well, it means that for some reason the layers of the lake, the water layers, never turn over.
Right,
They
yeah.
never move. So they stay in the same place, and they really don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, this is what they call the West Beach on a nice Sunday afternoon, and you can see there are hundreds of people. Just people everywhere. Just look at them all. What the heck?
We're having fun!
Well, it's a day later now. It's not quite as nice a day, but it's Monday, and there's still a few people down here, but not that many. Beautiful beach. The beach goes all the way around to the other side of this little lake here.
Decided to do a beach day, just wish it was a little sunnier. We're at the West Beach here at Green Lakes. Big area for swimming, but looks like it's closed today. Looks like they want you to swim. I don't know why. But there's the area down here where it's the canoes and rentals, and you can go out into the main lake. Because here you can't bring your own boat here. You have to only use theirs because of the water quality here, which is a little bit different than most lakes in the state. At about the one end of the lake here is, I guess, the midpoint between the two beaches here. There is a really nice big playground for the kids. Lots of things to climb on. There's some little houses you can go in. But kind of cool. Walked over to the east side beach, which happens to be open now. You can swim over here. And on this side they actually have there's a snack bar over here with some food. And this is the lifeguard first aid station. On this side of the lake they have the lifeguards sitting here, and this is a jumping section only, very deep water. Must be a strong swimmer. You can't wear any life jackets, but you can swim in here. You can just jump, no flips, no spins. Well, what fun is that? I want to do a flip. I guess just cannonballs. At the West Beach, there's a little trail you can go that walks all along the edge of the lake here. We did this once before. We've gone fishing down here. I never really caught anything, but you could try your luck. There are supposed to be bass and sunnies, and they do plant trout here, so I guess you could try your luck. There's a few more things. You could go look straight out to the lake again, and the trail just keeps on going around. It looks like somebody's carrying their own kayak. Looks like one of the park ranger kids. As the trail keeps going, this is some interesting, it looks like pine trees in here. And then they give you a little sign here of the trail, what you can and can't do. No, you can't take your bike back here, you can just walk. And then on this side you can see out to the crystal blue lake. It almost feels like you're in Florida or down in the Caribbean. This whole trail is just so nice. You get such really good views. Stop at any point to go look out at the water. It says you're not allowed to go swimming from any of these places here. You could get a fine and up to 15 days in jail. You wouldn't want that to happen. But it looks like you... Right here I'd like to jump right in. This part of the trail is a little bit elevated, and I can see some fish right down there. See, looks like a bass and a couple other fish down there. Wish I had my fishing pole. Yeah. We're by the little camp store, and it says this trail that goes around this way should take us to Round Lake, so me and Janet will take a look and see if that's where it goes. Well, we did go down this little road and we did make it to Round Lake. And here it is. It says, "You are here." So I guess we're here. Here we are. It says here that in 1973, Round Lake and the 100 acres around it were considered a national natural landmark. And there's only about 600 in the whole country. That's Round Lake, and beyond it must be Green Lakes, and it says it can be up to 170 feet deep. Wow. I'm hoping you could see right under the tree here. You can see how blue the water looks like in that little thing right below the tree. This water is just incredible. Right there in the lake there's that looks like a snapping turtle. He's just waiting for a fish to swim into his mouth. There's a little creek going down there. There he is. We took a little ride to Chittenango Falls. It's about 10 miles from the campground, and we should really see some tremendous falls today because we had so much rain last night. Well, here's the falls. It's really rushing down. Well, the closed area is over on the other side. I wouldn't go there right now anyway. You'd probably fall in. This is right before the water hits the falls on the other side of the bridge here. We were just over there. We'll take a walk down here and look at the water as it tumbles over. There's another little view of it coming out over the cliff here. The sound here is just thunderous. Okay, made it down those steps, and I think it was worth it. There's those falls, and they're like crazy running today. Woo!
I hate to throw cold water on this party, but how could we possibly follow that act? Glad you could join us, and as always, we'll see you down the road.